Alright, welcome back. So, these brakes just keep getting better and better. So, I was having trouble with the first caliper. I couldn't get the pistons compressed. So, I bought this fancy, not so fancy tool to compress the pistons because a regular caliper compressor won't fit in to them because they're not a floating caliper and they're all in the way and whatnot. So as you can see, all that did was just bend the tool. So then I was like, well, you know what, I think all the pistons are seized, or most of them are, or a lot of them are. So I get all the pads out of all the brakes and I have them just sitting on the rotors. So there's a huge gap in between where the pistons are, where the rotors are. So they can come out, hopefully, and then hopefully the rotor stops them from going too far. This pedal is super firm. It does absolutely nothing. I hear it noise. It sounds like it's coming from, probably from the brake booster because the check valve's not hooked up. Yeah, so you feel that firm pedal. That was before. Then I took one of the calipers off. This front one, I decided to start with that one. That pedal is still firm. Not moving at all. So I'm going to keep removing calipers until the pedal moves. And then if the pedal still doesn't move, then I guess the master cylinder is also frozen. And everything is bad, so yeah, this brake system just keeps getting worse and worse. The saga of the brakes continues. I got my new slotted Stop Tech rotors in the mail today. So I decided, well, I don't have calipers or pads or anything, but maybe I can at least change the rotors. So the front rotors have the hub bolted to the rotor, which that part comes off pretty easily actually. And then it holds the bearing on the hub and yada yada yada. The only problem is, so there's Allen bolts, and they are a 10 millimeter, which I don't have a socket for a 10 millimeter, but they are just barely too long for the Allen wrench that I do have to reach down in there, because otherwise it just barely touches it, so it's just going to strip off. So now I need to wait until the store's open, because it just turned 10 o'clock, so everything's closed, to go buy a 10 millimeter socket so I can undo the rotor and change out the hubs, swap them over. But in the meantime, I'm going to start disassembling the rear brake lines, see if I can't figure out. There's kind of a junction block. So the brake line, that brake line that was stuck, it runs back, and then right in front of the differential there's like a junction block, which, you know, just has two lines going over to each side. I'm going to try to just disconnect the lines, and maybe I just need to replace the junction block. Maybe that's like filled with rust, and that's why the pedal wouldn't move. See, the brake lines go along there, and there's the rubber line, and then right up there, suspension's kind of in the way. There's a junction right there, so I'm going to take that apart and see if I can't figure it out. The other thing, though, if I need to replace the lines, the hard lines, these use bubble flares, which are not as common in America. They tend to be more kind of a older European thing, and my friend is helping me out, does not have a tool for that. So either I gotta do, if I have to replace the lines, I gotta get adapters, or I gotta buy an expensive tool just for this one thing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Alright, finally a bit of good news. So I took that junction block off, and it actually looked really good inside. I think the inside is like brass. It looked brass colored anyway. But I found the root cause to my problem, which I already have new ones ordered, is these hoses, which you can't see by the video, but there's no air coming out the other end. And the one that has the broken. You know, oh, I just turned my air off. But yeah, all of these rubber hoses are, nothing's going through them. So that is the root cause to all my failures, which I already have new ones on the way. One of them, though, did not want to come out and ended up breaking the hard line, so I have just one like 6-inch section to replace. All the other hard lines, though, are looking pretty good, so looks like I'm finally making progress. Replace these hard lines, put new calipers on, and then I can start putting all the brakes back together, and then this thing will be able to stop. Then I just got to work on making it go.